Hey, scrappy people. Tracy Reed here today with a process video in my Oahu 2024 album. And you can see here that I have punched holes for stitching in this paper that I have printed from the collection called Fun in the Sun by Blagovesta Goshiva. I'm sure I completely slaughtered her name, but she's another designer at Sweet Shop Designs, and this collection is available there. I will link it in the description box below. But I have printed out this paper with multiple pieces of mixed media, including those rainbows, those splatters, the sort of bluish white paint strip, and that pattern. That all was mixed media available in the collection that I layered over this background paper that is multicolored. And I decided that I wanted to stitch this rainbow with an X stitch all the way around. So I'm currently working on the orange, and I'm doing everything color coordinated. So I'll have orange on orange and the light orange on the light orange and yellow on yellow, just to give the rainbow, some extra texture on this page. So you can see how cute that came out. And I can't believe just how little things like that can just add so much to a page, but it really does. So I'm going to mount this on orange cardstock to give it a little bit more of a bright outside border, since the background paper is super light, sort of whitewashed. And I'm going to be scrapbooking a photo of my husband and I standing in the water where I am wearing super bright colors. The bikini I was wearing and the pants I was wearing was like this super bright chartreuse color. So I wanted to play off those colors, but I didn't want to like go super hyper bright on my layout. So I thought that this background paper that has the same colors but sort of muted was a great jumping off point for this page. So I have already printed a bunch of the embellishments for this page, and I have already done my thicker trick for the title, where I print out multiple copies, print and cut multiple copies of the letters or the title, so you can see here, and glue them together to make them nice and thick. So it says "Love you to the beach," and then I have on that label right there on the side it says "and back again." So it's like "Love you to the moon," but it's "Love you to the beach." I have some cute palm trees and this sun that I'm going to wrap around my photo. So I don't want to cover up the photo. Like, my goal was not to cover up the photo, because obviously you don't want to cover up the beach in Oahu, but I wanted to create sort of a scene for this page. And I thought, there's a lot of extra sky here, a lot of extra water here. I think you get the gist without it being completely bare. So I'm sort of framing us as well, right? So that palm tree sort of arcs the same way that my husband and I are arcing in the photo. So it creates those really strong lines, and it's fun to sort of mimic that across the page with different embellishments. Of course, I didn't feel like it was arcing enough, so we're going to pull it up a little bit and readjust just a little bit. I like the little sun behind the palm trees as well. It also creates another circle embellishment going across the page, so we've got a really strong diagonal happening. I'm going to glue these down, and this is also going to sort of frame my photo as well. So I'm going to put "Love you" up here, and then "to the beach" and back is going to go over the palm tree. And then I will start framing out the embellishment clusters with some of those florals. So cute. I always love taking digital collections, printing them out, and then adding in real life embellishments to complete the look. I always like to show that even though it's digital, you can really create some fun and dynamic layouts with your printables. So we're going to add a bunch of flowers all over the page. We're going to back them with monstera leaves, which of course my silhouette did not completely cut out because there was some really tight holes to get in there and punch out. So I'm just using my X-Acto knife to punch out anything that didn't come out completely. This collection had a lot of great embellishments, but unfortunately, even though the colors really worked for my layout, a lot of the embellishments were sort of childish And since I don't have any kids on this page, some adorable crabs and fish, turtles. Didn't quite go, so I'm leaning heavily on the flowers instead. And that's okay. I always like flowers. I'm just gluing the center of these leaves and flowers instead of the whole thing, because I'm going to go ahead and take up the edges and sort of curl them up when the glue is dry so that there's a little bit of lift away from the page. Again, adding texture in small ways that makes it a little bit more dynamic. So many holes. All right, once I get these flowers down, I'm going to finish off the clusters with the rest of the embellishments that I have here. Just a couple of things from the kit, and then I want to add some real life stuff to add some texture to the page. So I've got a seashell and a starfish, and then I also have some sunglasses over there that's going to go up in the top cluster with this flower. And then I have that little heart flare, which I thought was good because it was yellow and orange. Okay, so now I want to take some string, some of the embroidery floss that I have left over, and I'm going to do a bunch of tangled string clusters around the page. So I'm going to do this yellow one. I'm actually going to put it directly over the sun underneath the palm trees because I thought that that would be a fun textural surprise for the page. Like normally you stick these string tangle things like coming out of clusters like I'm doing with the rest of them, but I thought that having all of that string over the sun was super cute and fun. So I'm just going to take some liquid glue and I'm going to stick it underneath where I want this to stick. You don't need to glue the whole thing down. The point is to have a little bit of movement, but it does need to stay where it's supposed to go. So you want to add in some liquid glue for it to stick. And of course it's underneath. You can see how that string also pops up the flowers, giving a little bit more depth and texture to the page. It's amazing to me just how just that little bit of string adds so much to this page. Just looking at it from this angle, not while I'm actually working on it. Sorry about my head. I had to lean forward. There we go. All right, the last thing that I'm gonna add is some sequins. So I have some seashell sequins. I feel like these were from like an old Cocoa Daisy kit a long time ago. So I have some seashells that I want to pull out of these sequins, and I thought I would add in some of the other sequins in this mix too, but instead of adding in the blues, I wanted to add in some yellows and oranges and pinks from the sun-kissed sequins that Spiegel Mom Scraps designed for me. They're actually, I don't know if they're still available on her site, but she was selling them on her site too. So they're coming in handy a lot. They're a really fantastic mix of pink and yellow, and I'll show you here in a second. But first I'm pulling out these large seashells. Look how cute those are. Look at how the iridescent sequins sort of play off of those bubbles that are printed on the background. That looks really cute. So here are the sun-kissed sequins. You can see they're pink and yellow. There's some cute flowers in here too, but I'm not going to be using those. But I'm just spacing them out, adding some bling around my clusters, just again for that shine and a little bit of different texture. And then once I get these all situated, I'm going to go ahead and glue them down off camera so that you don't have to watch me individually glue down every single sequin. These seashell sequins are cupped, so to make sure that I glue them down with the cupped part facing down, so that they actually stick. Now, I don't love this glue for sequins. I need to get some Nuvo glue, which is better, it sticks better, but I ordered some and got yarn in the mail instead, so I need to reorder. All right, last thing I'm gonna do is actually gonna distress the edges of this main paper, and I'm gonna add some tears in as well. Been doing a lot of this lately. Sometimes I just get on shticks and I stay there for a long time. It makes me happy. So I'm gonna go ahead and just distress everything and then start adding in some tears. You can see it started doing it for me there, so that was perfect. Just peeling back the layers. You can glue those down. You can leave them sticking up a little bit. I didn't glue them down this time. A lot of times I will staple them down just for that added texture, but instead I just left them the way that they were on this page. Very gently going in around those stitching edges. And then I want to have a couple more tears just to sort of point the eye where it's supposed to go. So the first one points it into the layout, the second one bounces you from the bottom, and this third one bounces you back out the edge. So that is perfect. Look how good that looks. Those tears just added so much. All right, so that is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have you. If you don't already, you can follow me over on Instagram. I'm at Tracy M. Reed. I'd love to see you over there as well. There is a link to everything that I used in the description box below, and I will see you next time. Thank you.